Well, I'm finally doing this with somebody. I'm sorry I had to do that because I've always mentioned like you're here
Yeah.
watching the show and then there.
Hmm.
You want to what name do you want to go by?
Oh, I'm TJ, by the way.
I wasn't sure because you have the other one, but then that's pissed off some
No.
people. Anyway, I'm wearing my Hell No shirt, and we're here to review tonight's Monday Night Raw from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. What were your thoughts of the show so far, or the show tonight?
I thought it was actually a pretty decent go home show, and actually really liked the ending too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
unlike other go home shows, well, I won't comment on the Night of Champions go home show for reasons most people on who watch my videos know for, because we were there.
We were live, yeah.
But like the battleground go home show absolutely sucked, and then the one for SummerSlam SummerSlam's was good. Money in the Banks, we had
Well,
that screwed up power outage, so I only got to watch about the last hour of it in
they had a
full.
power outage then too.
Remember there was a bad rainstorm and shit?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bad rainstorm or whatever, and so then
Hmm.
I saw the white debut, so I was happy. But no, uh, I thought it was a very solid opening segment to do the show. How you had Big Show coming live via satellite, and then the McMahons who were out there. They were like
I
Stephanie's never good on the
yeah.
mic, but
I have to say
yeah,
that I love Big Show as the heel he's playing right now because I was I'm pretty sure everyone was already tired of Big Show always switching between heel and face just every month, and then playing the happy-go-lucky face or the dominant so-called dominant heel.
yeah, exactly.
But it was very like old, very stale, and finally he has some edge. He's a little bit edgy now, with the
Yeah,
whole and his promo actually brought out the edgy side in him. When he told Stephanie to shut up, and that was pretty hilarious.
yeah. But I found it stupid how Stephanie was going to everybody but the people working TV to get them. Like, how are we getting him off there? You go to the guy doing whose
Yeah.
camera who I saw fixing his lens, and then you went to Mark Eden, the timekeeper. So it was like, what the hell are you
Yeah,
doing?
you know what's interesting? She wanted Big Show off the Tron immediately, but
Yeah,
then somehow someone figured out how to take him off the Tron
yeah.
right when she did the countdown.
Yeah, it's like one, boom. It's like, okay, now we know for sure this stuff is made up, or not made up, but scripted. So the first match of the night was Bryan versus Ambrose. This match is sort of getting overplayed. Like when we saw it in Toronto,
Yeah.
it was my match of the night personally because they were out there. They just went out there and wrestled. But now, like when they get quick TV time like that, like it's a 5-10 minute match, it's not needed. They need at least a minimum of 10 minutes for those two guys.
I think now the Shield and Daniel Bryan have had matches together like maybe like at least 15 times. I
Yeah,
don't know, like around 10, 15 times maybe.
yeah, probably.
I know right before or right after SummerSlam, so going into Night of Champions, the Shield and Daniel Bryan were doing something during the last moments of each SmackDown and Raw. Like they were having some 3-on-1 handicap match or some type of match.
Yeah.
So every week, both shows were having some sort of
Hmm.
Daniel Bryan and the Shield involvement in there.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of overdone, but at the same time, they're entertaining. It's I enjoy it
Yeah.
actually. It's not one of those things where I'm already tired of it in with the rematch. So
Yeah.
and we all know the Shield are going to be breaking up soon, so it's one of the last few matches we can probably enjoy of theirs.
And then after, like, even with them, like, they had the whole angle going into Night of Champions with the whole aftermath, and even like how I remember at the
Mm-hmm.
Night of Champions, like when we were there, how
Yeah.
you saw Orton get that little bit of offense in. Big Show came out, distracted him, and then Daniel Bryan got the offense, and then we all yes to the Air Canada Center to go off the air. So like even
Yeah.
the good ending, and then we'll get into the ending later. But then
Actually, so that was very similar to tonight's ending. Now that I
yeah,
think
tonight's
about it.
ending and
Yeah.
Night of Champions go home show were basically very similar, but we'll get into that later. Next is the Punk promo, which I thought, as always, he cuts a solid promo,
Yeah.
goes out there, does his thing.
Actually, wasn't even expecting that. I didn't think they would just give him a time to just go out and cut a promo
Yeah,
like that. But I guess it was something different and something better than just the usual Ryback make like Punk coming in and beating up Ryback or Ryback beating up Punk. It's the same shit over and over again. So
yeah,
I think they made a good decision by making him allowing him to just cut a simple promo, get the crowd hyped up and leave.
yeah.
Just and then Paul Heyman and Ryback and Curtis Axel, they had their own thing going on. Later on, I know Punk came out and did his stuff anyway, but it was good to just let Punk hype up the match, which many people think that doesn't have much hype to begin with, right? Because it's just Ryback.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Can I
it's
actually interrupt you for a second on
yeah,
that? This show Golems was very identical. Like even at the CM Punk angle, you had remember at the Raw taping when they had Punk came not Punk, you had Heyman and Axel come out with the doctors because he was had that injury, and then Punk came out and then cleared the ring, and then the Kill the Doctor chant started.
that's true. Yeah,
It's very similar.
yeah. Actually, yeah, that is. Oh well,
I guess they figured follow the format; it works best.
but at the same time, you have to remember that the Raw we went to was not that long ago, and the storylines are pretty similar still. Like they're still going on right now.
Very similar.
So it's more of the same, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it didn't really feel more of the same. You know, it's now we're kind of just taking it in right now that it's more of the same.
Yeah.
But when we were watching it, it wasn't really more of the same. You know.
Up next, we had this tag team match that I have on my PVR right now.
Yeah.
Well, not tag team match, but the Santino Marella versus Heath Slater match. It was just time filler, honestly, and a little comedy shtick. It was nothing
Yeah.
like who's gonna remember that? Like they're in Elvis's country, they're gonna do something Elvis themed, and then with the whole I sent. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see a tweet that says when they said, "Oh, hunka hunka something." I actually tweeted hunka hunka jobbers because that's truly what it was.
Well, Santino, honestly, my thoughts on him is why is he still even here? Like, I know some people find him entertaining, but
Yeah,
honestly, it's run its course. Is they're overdoing it. Um, when he made his return on the September 9th Raw, like the whole place went crazy. I think mainly because most people know that he's Canadian.
yeah, he's from Mississauga.
Yeah, he's from our hometown. But honestly, I'm just not entertained by him. I think he it's just very corny. It's overdone, and
Yeah,
he's basically just a clown, you know. Like,
yeah,
and it's about time they let him go. I really think so. But I guess he does fill up the show when they need filler,
yeah.
and he
Filler.
does. At the end of the day, the people like him still, I guess. So he's
Do
still hot, and I guess they're gonna keep him.
you mean filler or bathroom break?
Or
Exactly.
oh no, that's the Divas. Remember
Well,
that.
one's bathroom, one's concession because you want to get back to your seat in time because there's always something. It's like bad, good, bad. But then up next was actually good because we had the Randy Orton Ziggler match, which was better than I thought. Like that match could have gone either way. That could have been a really good match, like it was, or it could have been awful.
I kind of feel bad for Ziggler though, because
Yeah,
they are
buried.
they are deep pushing him, but I don't know. I guess it's a mixture of them not having confidence in him. Like they said, apparently that they don't think he's a guy who's ever going to draw money, which I kind of find puzzling because well, I don't know the WWE's income better than revenue
Mm.
better than they do, but it seemed to me that he was bringing in some money. When he
Yeah.
was world champion, he was pretty popular, but the problem I've noticed is that they don't seem to commit to one wrestler much. They seem to flip flop. You know, let's push this guy for 5 seconds.
And
He
then
doesn't
we'll.
catch on right away, so we're just gonna give up on him and push another guy.
Oh, that's Fandango as
And
well.
Fandango just had an unfortunate injury.
Yeah, exactly. He had the
His
concussion.
injury just messed up his push because I bet you if he didn't get injured, he would be intercontinental champion right now.
And you can have a little feud of him with Axel, but then the problem was both those guys were heel. And like
Yeah,
even with that angle, like I can honestly see him and Summer Rae breaking off because we all know Summer Rae is excelling well in NXT, and well, she's my favorite diva personally, but she needs to break off and I think really go into the Divas division and basically show that there's new blood coming in with her, Paige,
exactly. Yeah,
Emma. But we'll get to that later. Up
but
next was we were talking about the Divas match, or were we talking about Ziggler Orton, and
yeah,
then
the
the next
Ziggler Orton match was pretty good. Obviously Orton got his win, but I really hope Ziggler gets his push again. I don't know if apparently it was also because what he said at SummerSlam and Access, and honestly, if that's the case, then the
yeah
WWE just gets butthurt too easily. He was just having fun. I can't believe that they actually would de-push him just because of what he said.
yeah and
But at the same time, knowing the WWE, he should have probably kept his mouth shut because the WWE does take seriously all these things, and many people know that he was. I'm pretty sure he knew that he was risking it when he was saying all those things because it's it's in it's a past of WWE just um
yeah.
not kind of punishing wrestlers for saying even the slightest bit of things that they may find offensive, you know. So
Yeah. And then the Divas match, nothing special. Like we know, I think because of the Bella's got the win tonight, so
Mm.
I'm assuming that AJ Lee's gonna retain, even though I don't think she should. I think that the Bellas should take over, basically be like, because Total Divas does come back in 3 weeks. We're both
Well,
excited for, but like I don't want to get this into it, definitely just because I see we're running a bit late and there's still about an hour 44 we have to cover.
yeah.
But apart from that, Divas match is pretty basic. We'll see what happens Sunday. I'll personally probably be doing a picks video sometime this week, probably Wednesday or
Yeah.
Thursday, whenever I get free time.
Well, the thing with the Divas match is that they're really trying. The WWE is really trying hard to get the Bellas over as a face, but
Or to get fans from the bathroom stalls into their seats.
the problem with the Bellas is that the way they act so bitchy on Total Divas and even in the WWE, I don't think they're gonna catch up as faces, and also because they're such bad actors, like they can't act, you know.
Nope.
So it's trying like getting Eva Marie as a face, you know. It's not gonna work.
No, not at all. But then again, she had a horrible debut. I think she needs a second chance to really show to the world that she's a good diva. Like, she's here to
Eva
stay.
Marie?
Yeah, Eva Marie.
Well, Eva Marie's my wife, so.
And then there was the backstage segment where I don't know if Heyman was going on some creepy, weird, like, preacher Jesus rant or whatnot. I can barely understand what he was saying, but it was very well done. Like, I have to say, personally, like, him going in there, speaking nonsense, whatever, then you had Biggie Langston come in, basically have all that in. All these angles. Biggie Langston's getting the push, a guy that in the locker room that wasn't recognized before was Ziggler's heavy, but then now he had that little quiet stretch like where we saw him on Superstars. But
well,
then,
I'm really glad that they're pushing Biggie Langston first of all, because I do think that he deserves the push, and he's a great talent. I kind of find his finisher kind of dumb, but
impressive, but yeah.
But whatever, that's kind of nitpicking. I'm really happy that they're kind of pushing him. So let's hope he doesn't end up being another Ziggler or Damien Sandow. Just, you know, well, Damien Sandow is another different story, but we'll get to that later. But,
yeah.
Pretty much, Paul Heyman's promo, I loved it.
Oh yeah.
He's obviously always great on the mic. He can cut a promo when he needs to, and he actually made the match look worthwhile, you know?
Yeah.
And he actually made you think that the match is between him and Punk, which it kind of is, really. I mean, Ryback is just there as, you know, someone who can kind of fill in Heyman's lack of wrestling skill, I guess. Just like Curtis Axel this whole time has been used as a prop.
Even though he's IC champ, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, he's been the IC champion, but then nothing has really revolved around his championship.
No.
He's just been Heyman's prop this whole time for his feud with CM Punk, and now Ryback's taking that role. I really think that Ryback is just going to get the win somehow, in a cheap way, most likely. And then Punk is just going to get Heyman inside the cell by himself somehow, or he's probably going to knock out Ryback after the match, and then
go after Heyman.
And then Punk finally gets his hands on. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's in a Hell in a Cell. It's time to end this feud.
Yeah.
And Punk will finally get his revenge. And then we'll move on, and CM Punk will probably be in the WWE title picture soon, hopefully.
Hopefully. And then after that was the tag match. I think the Wyatts, well, I think because Bray's hurt, they're just trying to get them wherever, like Miz and Kofi, but then you're definitely going to see something with that, I'm guessing, at Survivor Series, which this year they're, like, even...
Well, they're thinking about doing Undertaker versus Kane. Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatt family. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen, because Undertaker...
That was planned for SummerSlam, but then I think Taker said no, or Taker was still battling some injuries.
Yeah.
So, but then you could have it basically be like, Miz could have all these opponents, someone drops out, and then, boom, Kane returns, which would be pretty cool for the crowd.
That would be cool.
And I also know from watching all these videos, there's someone from Boston Bros V2, that one of them's actually, remember I was saying there's random Kane marks? There's him, and there's Big Red is some guy from the UK that I talked to. But then that tag matches are all right. Then we had this match where it was Langston and Axel, which was turned into a tag match. On paper it looked bad. It was a Teddy Long kind of thing, but it turned out really well, I thought, with what they had and everything, and then them getting the attacks at the end. Very solid, very well done. I have no complaints about that.
But what was after that?
I'm just trying to get to there right now. I paused at the wrong time because like I do this usually. Sometimes I'll forget like what happens. All right, the R-Truth thing, but I don't want to get into that.
That was a dumb,
It was filler.
dumb commercial.
Oh, this
For
match with the Real Americans and Tons of Funk. It was all right. Thankfully, no Los Matadores on this week because like I cannot stand them. It was stupid, but then we'll
Los
probably see something at
Illegals.
Los Illegals with the bullwhip. After that we
Zeb Coulter, by the way, is a great manager too. I love him, and
yeah.
I think he's just like Paul Heyman. He's really good at on the mic, and he's a great character. I really wonder what they're gonna do with him soon.
Something I had to say about tonight though was even though I know I'm Cena guy, you're not a Cena guy, the video packages they did for him and the Daniel Bryan Shawn Michaels video packages, very well done.
It was very well done, but the thing is that, like I said earlier to him, it's kind of interesting how the world title is suddenly so relevant
Yeah.
because John Cena's in the match. So it really, I guess, in a way that helped the world title picture a lot because it already lost so much credibility. I mean, like I said, WrestleMania 29, the match was Jack Swagger got a jobber entrance. I
Yeah.
mean, the world heavyweight championship has not been taken seriously like since WrestleMania 27, I think.
No,
That's
probably
when that's
yeah,
when they
yeah.
that's when they started shitting on it by putting it in the first, putting it as the first match on the card, and then ever since then it hasn't picked up. It kind of picked up a little bit, I think,
Yeah.
for a while, and then it kind of dropped again.
Well,
And then
like with the Daniel Bryan Sheamus rivalry
yeah,
with that stuff in there. And then
and
with
then with Sheamus and Big Show, they were having a good, somewhat solid feud, and I know it's kind of a bore fest maybe, but
I'd say Sheamus Del
it,
Rio was
it actually
better, like with the SummerSlam match and the Night of Champions and the Money in the Bank.
exactly.
Those were even well done. But then
Once it went back to Alberto Del Rio, it kind of lost because Alberto Del Rio again, he's very boring and
it's run its course like AJ Lee.
he's not working as the next Latino star. He does not draw shit. I can't believe that they're still pushing him. They're still trying so hard to push him. I know they pay him a lot of money, but seriously, like this guy needs to do something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I guess WWE will give up on him someday because he's not. He doesn't draw shit, and I really wonder after Cena, which obviously he's going to win the championship.
Yeah.
Not obviously, but maybe most likely. Like we'll just say that. I wonder what they're going to do with Alberto Del Rio. Maybe he's just going to have a rematch and Cena's going to squash him in the next pay-per-view at Survivor Series, and then
it is in Boston, so I wouldn't be shocked at all if
Survivor Series.
Yeah, Survivor Series is the TD Garden in Boston, so
he's gonna.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cena goes out there and beats him in front of the hometown faithful.
Alberto Del Rio will have somewhat of a credible match at Hell in a Cell. He'll seem somewhat credible, and then when he loses his championship and he has a rematch, like they do usually, then the rematch is going to be a squash match. And then I really wonder what they're going to do. I mean, what can they do with Alberto Del Rio? I mean, he's not interesting enough for anyone to see him in a feud with anyone, really. I mean, I brought the idea for him versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania possibly, but no one's going to take that seriously because everyone's going to be cheering Rey Mysterio. It's not like anyone's going to be even cheering Alberto Del Rio over Rey Mysterio. So, I mean, it's not like Alberto Del Rio is suddenly a threat to Rey Mysterio's popularity as a Latino star, So, like I said, he's not working. They tried hard with him with the face turn. It flopped. They turned him back heel, and nobody still gives a shit. They don't even care enough to boo him.
No, not at all.
At the Raw we were at, they were chanting the most random chants. While he was in the ring. Even Heath Slater got better chants than Alberto Del Rio. At least we were chanting 3MB.
Yep. But then after that, the tag match happened. Like nothing special. I called it from the beginning. It was going to be a no DQ finish, triple threat tag match Sunday. Really looking forward to it. Don't want to get into it, but I do want to talk about the last segment. Very, very strong. Like everything that Shawn Michaels said, even in the backstage segment, where it's a similar thing to what Night of Champions was, because they had Edge, even though Edge had no involvement in the Night of Champions match.
Yep.
He still, Shawn Michaels does have a huge involvement, but he went out there, basically said, like, what's going on with you? Like, why did you not see him in him? Shawn calling out Hunter was probably the best thing that's happened since the Hunter heel turn at SummerSlam.
I kind of saw that coming, obviously. I mean, it was obvious that it was not going to be like a goody two shoes promo where Shawn Michaels and Triple H get along perfectly because
Good
I
old
mean,
HBK, basically.
yeah, like it was obviously they were obviously going to have some conflict because Shawn Michaels, is a face and Triple H is a heel right now, and then I kind of think that they overdo. I definitely they definitely do overdo the whole Shawn Michaels getting involved in Triple H's business all the time. Like
Yeah.
ever since Shawn Michaels has retired, he's been getting into Triple H's business every.
28 with the match at SummerSlam 2012. He got hurt.
They're wrestling at 29.
He was ringside with him, and then Heyman was just standing there too. Nothing really happened
Yeah, so
there.
I mean, they overdo the whole Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
getting involved in Triple H's business all the time. Like I do think that sometimes it's ridiculous. I mean, we do know we're their best friends and blah 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 so on, but Shawn Michaels has retired,
Yeah.
and even though it's good to see him back sometimes, I would like to have him maybe do something different, not just get into the same old. Okay, I'm gonna be in Triple H's corner. I'm gonna be against Triple H,
Yeah.
and then the again he's refereeing a Hell in a Cell match this time, but even though it doesn't have Triple H in it, but it has to do with Triple H. So I
Yeah.
mean it is overdone. So I really hope that after this we don't see any of these Shawn Michaels and Triple H uh, conflict stories.
Maybe Sean's gonna be in New Orleans in April, but apart from that, like he'll probably have like a minor role. We don't know what's gonna happen with Mania yet. It's gonna be interesting,
Yeah.
but overall, like tonight, if they were looking to get more people to buy pay-per-views, because I know at the beginning of the month after Battleground, they were really
Yeah.
extremely desperate bringing
That's
on.
why they stacked up the card this.
Yeah, that's why
Hell in a
they had to
Cell.
make tonight. Tonight was basically a go big or go home. And they went big and it paid off. I know personally, I stream pay-per-views. I don't
And you
order
can see,
except for Mania.
and you can see the WWE like how hard they try
Yeah.
when they panic a little bit, when they have a little bit of panic attack at the buy rates or
Yeah.
ratings or anything. They actually try really hard to put on a good show. So I mean, that's why that's one thing. That's one reason. That's the only reason I actually wish that TNA would do a little bit better. But at the same time, it is TNA and
Bound for bankruptcy.
exactly. He summed it up.
Yeah, bound
So
for bankruptcy. That was ridiculous last night. That's your WrestleMania, and you can barely fill half the arena. And an arena doesn't even have a second deck.
I hate to say it, but probably TNA is a lost cause. I mean,
yeah, like before you know it,
I
Jeff
wish
Hardy and
yeah,
thing will be back
I wish
in
they
WWE.
did better. I wish they did better, just so
Yeah.
that the WWE could do something better. But they're not even a threat to the WWE at all.
They don't have any competition anymore. It's not like before. But I know what I can honestly see happening.
Vince McMahon does not wake up in the morning and think to himself, "How am I gonna?"
There's no one to compete against.
Exactly.
Like,
how am I gonna
UFC
compete
for years.
How am I gonna compete with TNA? Just like Triple H actually mentioned tonight, Ted Turner.
Oh God.
It's on his mind
Yep.
because Ted Turner, WCW and well, not ECW so much, but WCW was a big threat to the WWE. Not only a big threat, but it was doing better than the WWE for many years. So that's when the product was really hot, and WWE was doing some of their best. WWF was doing some of the best shit they've ever done because they were under threat. And even though they don't have competition right now, but when they have a low buy rate or something of the sort,
they actually sinking water.
They put on they go to the limits to put on a good pay-per-view like Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
They've stacked up the card this year because of that. So just imagine if TNA did a little bit better, that the WWE may actually start thinking about it. But at this point in time, I don't even care if TNA does better or not, because I mean, TNA, they've just sank their own ship. So
it's kind of like even with the UFC, because I remember there was WEC and Strikeforce beforehand.
yeah,
They bottomed out like WCW just folded. I can honestly see Vince going to Jeff Jarrett and basically saying, "Look, I'll give you this amount of money. All your superstars can come wrestle for us."
see,
but then with that, there'll be cutbacks, or they'll like release, or like they won't bring everyone over, but they'll bring the key players over. Like they'll bring Sting in,
honestly,
which all the internet people will go wild for and stuff like that. But even though like that, I think we should wrap this up just because it's a little longer than most review videos.
Yeah.
The only other video I had this
just one point I would like to make is, even if I think the TNA made an offer to WWE to buy them, I don't think WWE would actually buy them because they have no value there. I mean, WCW was bought out because they had value. ECW, even though it was not that big, it was still pretty huge, much bigger than TNA is right now.
Popular.
And Actually, now that I think about it, TNA has actually been around longer than the original ECW, which
Yeah.
is kind of sad, but that's because of Dixie Carter. Dixie Carter, by the way, just pumping in as much money as you can.
Yeah.
But
No, well, they cut
but
back.
if I think the WWE, if TNA's time came, would just let TNA go bankrupt and then probably just get some of the they know that some of their top wrestlers would then look to WWE anyway because they would be the only because they have huge egos like
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. Then they'll go back to Vince and be like, "Yo, friend, my old."
Eric Bischoff will never be back in WWE. Never say those words.
Well, according to Vince, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eric Bischoff actually went back to WWE to try and get back into the business because
Circa
these guys
2006.
these guys have no shame. Hulk Hogan has no shame. I may offend Hulk Hogan fans, but hey, I'm not a fan of the guy anymore after what he's done. And Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, all these guys are just I don't know, like I guess just how do you say it? I guess you could call them has-beens, but like
Yeah, well, Hulk Hogan not really,
they're
but
kind of like the something you don't like and just doesn't go away. You know,
like a bad ex-girlfriend.
kinda. You know, like they just keep coming back to you when they need you,
Exactly.
and when they don't need you, they tell you to fuck off and go back to their other boyfriend. And when that boyfriend dumps them or they something happens, they come back to you, type of thing. You know, they just don't go away. And so yeah, that's all I have to say. And I think we should wrap this up because it is pretty.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Do you have work tomorrow?
No, actually, I have nothing. But
I have school.
yeah. So we'll see you guys later. It was nice reviewing this, and I think this was a good debut for me.
Yeah, but the only thing I do know right now that I know my Survivor Series review and my Go Home Show reviews are gonna be a little bit delayed due to NFL football because I have the one
Yeah.
they scheduled the Patriots for a Monday night game like we're watching
Yeah,
right now,
that's true.
and and Survivor Series is a Sunday night game. So we'll see what happens there. I'll be back either midweek with a Hell in a Cell prediction video. He'll be back whenever we can. We'll be doing probably a year-end review video with Such.
Yep.
And see you guys. Peace.
Peace.